Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Sources say that Daniel Jacobs stands to earn $15 million by facing Canelo. Wow. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I did a video about it. According to Canelo's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, he says that after the Jacobs fight, which is a tough fight, Canelo has expressed interest in wanting to fight Triple G in a trilogy fight, a third fight. I gave my thoughts in another video, so check that on the channel. Hit the like button. They also had in this article with the Los Angeles Times, link in the description. Shout out to Lance Pugmire. They also had some information that I thought was really interesting about Jacobs' purse. Now, I know some people don't like fighter purses being like disclosed and stuff to the public, but the information is already out and printed. It says Daniel Jacobs claimed the IBF middleweight belt in October by a split decision over Russia's Sergey Derevyanchenko joining DAZN as part of the ALVAREZ deal. Sources familiar with the deal have indicated that Daniel Jacobs stands to collect as much as $15 million for the Canelo Alvarez fight and a minimum of $4 million in his next 2 fights should he lose to Alvarez. If Daniel Jacobs wins or gets a draw, it's a big money fights for those next fights. One individual familiar with the deal but unauthorized to comment publicly on it told the Los Angeles Times. So wow, it looks like Daniel Jacobs struck gold. This is very smart move for him to have went over there and face Canelo. We already knew Canelo, you know, after Mayweather retired, that he was the star in the sport and the cash cow and the money guy. But if he stands to make $15 million, it looks like Jacobs is doing very well for himself. I know Jacobs, I'm happy for him, and this is good money. And beyond that, it's a great opportunity. You know, he's wanted the Canelo fight, he's wanted the big fights, and now he got it. And Jacobs is living proof that if you do what you're supposed to be doing in this sport of boxing, you get rewarded. Jacobs fought Gennady Golovkin when he had like 21 knockouts in a row, undefeated. I thought he beat him. I was at the fight and the whole 9. But beyond that, for his bounce back, he fought undefeated fighter after undefeated fighter after undefeated fighter. And he was fighting guys that you don't really want to fight. Not saying that everybody was ducking these guys, but these guys were tricky styles, undefeated, and they don't represent like a lot of money, like fighting a Canelo or, you know, a big name in the sport. So Jacobs, he took the hard road after the Golovkin loss, you know, because technically he lost to, you know, according to the judges. And he fought Luis Cuba Arias undefeated, beat him, you know, convincingly. Then he fought Mad Zaleski, who knocked out a guy that Charlo knocked out later, you know, a tough Polish, good boxer, good power. You know, he was in a fight with a guy with boxing ability. And then he just recently fought Sergey Derevyanchenko of Russia, amateur background, hard hitter, a guy that trained in the same gym as him, had the same trainer, and they know each other well. And it showed because it was a tricky fight. It was a difficult fight because they're familiar with each other's style before they even heard the first bell. And furthermore, Derevyanchenko was the mandatory for Gennady Golovkin when he was the IBF champion before Daniel Jacobs, and he elected not to fight Sergey Derevyanchenko. He instead picked on Vanes Martirosyan coming off a 2-year layoff, switched from advisor Al Heyman and the promoters he uses for Premier Boxing Champs to working with Don King, coming off a loss to Erislandy Lara. He had been on the couch, like, you know, inactive for 2 years. Plus, he was moving from 154 to 160, and Golovkin brought him up. He was supposed to fight Derevyanchenko either in that fight or after that fight, but so as to not ruin his chances for a Canelo rematch and sweepstakes, he probably didn't want to, it didn't seem like he wanted a difficult fight or a guy who could challenge him, possibly beat him or anything. So he fought Vadas Martirosyan instead of fighting his mandatory, which he had no problem fighting his mandatory when he fought Dominique Wade, you know. And here again, you have Daniel Jacobs, who, despite being friends with the guy, despite being a guy that was familiar with him. See, the thing is, when you spar that much with someone, you know their little secrets, little quirks and things about them. Just like, look at Adrian Broner versus Adrian Granados. I was at that fight as well. And Adrian Granados was brought in to spar with Broner for the Maidana training camp, you know. So before Granados even fought, that was a tricky fight for Broner. Before he even fought Broner, he knew things about him, you know, because he had sparred with him. So you're already familiar with people. So it takes a lot. And it takes a lot to, because like I said, you know, little mannerisms and maybe even things they do wrong and just discrepancies, bad habits that they have, what type of person they are, nutrition, you know, if they can't take the body shots. You hear it, people talk in these gyms. So despite all that, Daniel Jacobs still fought him, whereas Golovkin didn't want no parts of Derevyanchenko because he didn't want to ruin a Canelo money fight. So again, Jacobs doing well for himself, and he's proof that if you do what you're supposed to be doing, take the tough fights and climb back up the ladder, you get rewarded. And it looks like that's what's happening with the Canelo fight, because up to $15 million, obviously it's going to depend on the success and how many subscribers, because they don't do pay-per-view with DAZN. So the spike that they receive for Canelo. But I will say this, Canelo, he's made the most noise on DAZN since, you know, from hearing his record-breaking deal to the Fielding fight that got some buzz, and this is a much better fight with Jacobs. So they should see a spike at least for the month of May. And, you know, both guys stand to make a lot of money, up to $15 million, this article is saying. Crazy. And it lends credence to what Daniel Jacobs was saying in that hallway at the Barclays when he had that run-in with JERMALL Charlo that went viral. And he said to JERMALL Charlo, "You ain't touching M's, I'm touching M's." You know, he can say that with confidence now if he's making $15 million or up to $15 million by fighting Canelo. So I'm happy for Jacobs. I'm happy he's getting this payday. I think he deserves it. I think he's worked hard and climbed back up the ladder. He beat cancer. He came back from losses like the Dimitri Perot and the Golovkin loss, even though I don't think he lost to Golovkin, but the judges did, you know, and he came back from all that and fought tricky guys like the Sergio Moras and Zaleski, and hard punchers like Derevyanchenko, Peter Quillin, Golovkin. So he definitely deserves it. These are definitely two of the biggest and best middleweights, biggest punchers, and just skilled fighters. So I can't wait for this fight, Canelo versus Jacobs. Let me know what you guys think. They're saying Jacobs stands to make $15 million, so you know Canelo's going to make a lot of money in this fight as well, because he got $365 million. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.